So we were talking about the Lewis model, and now we're going to go over how to write Lewis structures for molecular compounds and polyatomic ions. So this is a set of instructions. It's a guideline. There's more than one way to arrive at the correct Lewis structure. So the suggestions from the text are to start out with the correct skeletal structure of the molecule. So that is, how are the atoms connected to each other? Hydrogen, because it only has one electron, can only form one bond. So it can't be in the center of a molecule with lots of other things bonded to it. It has to be on the outside. And the outside position is called the terminal position in the molecule. So hydrogen's always on the outside, always terminal. And if we have more electronegative atoms, like fluorine or oxygen, those tend to be terminal as well. So get a skeletal structure together and then figure out how many valence electrons total for the molecule. So look at the different atoms and how many valence electrons they have and just add them all together. Those are the number of electrons that you can show in your structure. If you have an ion, say a -1 ion, it's a -1 ion because it has an extra electron, so you add an electron. If you have an ion that has a +2 charge, +2 means you lost 2 electrons, so subtract 2. Then you're going to take those electrons and pass them out to the different atoms. We want to give octets to as many atoms as possible. Hydrogen is too small for an octet. All it wants is a duet. It just needs a single bond. So hydrogen's always just going to have a single bond. That's good. And then try to satisfy everybody else. We're not going to worry about where the electrons came from. We're just going to pass them out. So once you're done with that, you can't give out more electrons than you have. If we don't have octets, which sometimes happens, then we're going to form double or triple bonds. So if sharing 2 electrons between 2 atoms isn't enough to give everybody octets, then we maybe need to share some more. So we'll practice this. Write the Lewis structure for carbon monoxide. So the first step is to draw a skeletal structure, just showing how those 2 atoms are connected. Well, with only 2 atoms, there's only one thing that can happen. They're connected to each other, right? So there's carbon, here's oxygen. Now, you could put oxygen on the left, it doesn't matter. For those to be connected, there must be at least a single bond between them, right? So I'm going to draw a line between them. The line represents 2 electrons, a single bond. So whenever you draw a line, imagine that what you're doing is connecting 2 electron dots. Okay, so I'm going to be showing those in these first couple ones, and then after that I won't. So there's our skeleton. Then we have to figure out how many valence electrons. So we look at carbon. How many electrons, valence electrons, does carbon have? 4. And how many does oxygen have? 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. So I have 10 electrons that I can pass out to these 2 atoms. I've already got 2 on there. So there's going to be a lot of counting by 2. So we're going to count by 2 up to 10. So I've already got 2, and I'm going to go 4, 6, 8, 10. You don't have to pass them out symmetrically, but typically that works pretty well. Does everybody have an octet? No. In fact, nobody's happy. They both have 5 electrons. That's not good. I can't give them more because I only had 10. So they need to share more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these lone pairs and make it a bonding pair between these. I didn't really leave myself enough room here. Okay, I'm going to draw this over again. Whoops. Because I don't have enough space. Okay, so that's what I had. I'm going to take this pair, erase them here, and put them between to make a bond. So now I'm going to see if we have octets. This carbon has 2, 4, 6, not an octet. But the oxygen has an octet, 2, 4, 6, 8. So carbon is short, so then we need to take another lone pair and share it. So I'm going to erase this lone pair and put it between the two atoms, and that's another bond. And then I count again. So for carbon, we've got 2, 4, 6 in the bonds, plus 8 with the lone pair. And oxygen has 2, 4, 6, 8. So we've satisfied the octet rule. Now, we drew that as we went along, and it's kind of messy looking, so it's probably a good idea to make it look a little nicer. There's carbon with a triple bond to the oxygen, and then each of these has a single lone pair. Yeah?
So we're always taking like lone pair from the kind of the bigger atom?
Well, you're going to take a lone pair from the atom that has more electrons in the structure. Because if instead of taking that lone pair from the oxygen, if I'd taken the lone pair from the carbon, then I'd end up with too many electrons on the oxygen. And so then I'd have to say, well, okay, then I have to move these over there, and it's just more shuffling. Any other questions? So carbon monoxide has a triple bond between the carbon and the oxygen. Okay, let's write a Lewis structure for H2CO. So this has a few more atoms in it. Well, the hydrogens have to be terminal, meaning on the outside. So that means the other things must be in the middle. So I'm going to put the carbon and the oxygen in here, and then I have to decide where to put the where to put the hydrogens. I could put them on the carbon, I could put them on the oxygen, I could put one on each. And we're going to learn about something called formal charges that's going to help us decide that, but we don't know about that yet. I'll tell you a little trick from the periodic table. So if we look at the Lewis structure for a carbon atom, how many valence electrons does it have? 4. So when we draw the Lewis symbol for carbon, we have 4 single electrons. And those electrons, being unpaired, will most likely form bonds with other atoms. So carbon tends to form 4 bonds. We look at nitrogen. Nitrogen has 5 valence electrons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many unpaired electrons in the Lewis symbol? 3. Nitrogen tends to form 3 bonds. How about oxygen? 6 electrons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 unpaired electrons. Oxygen tends to form 2 bonds. So, understanding this, when I look here at carbon and oxygen, who likes to have more bonds, carbon or oxygen? Carbon. So then let's try putting the hydrogens on the carbon, because that'll give carbon more bonds. So I'll put a hydrogen here and a hydrogen here. Now, just as we've drawn it without all the extra electrons, this carbon has 3 bonds, the oxygen has 1 bond, and so they are close to what they would like. So there's a skeleton. Sometimes you draw a skeleton and you get into the drawing the rest of it and you realize, no, that's wrong. Well, just start over, rearrange it. That's okay. I would recommend pencil for these. Okay, next thing is, how many valence electrons for the whole molecule? I hear 12. Let's check. So 2 hydrogens, they each have 1. And the carbon has 4. And the oxygen has 6. And so that's 10. Just seeing if you're on your toes. That's 12. No, I really did screw up there. My daughter woke me up about 6:45. She's like, "It's almost 7, Mom. I'm waking you up just in case you needed to get up." And I sat up and I sat there for a while thinking, where am I? What day is it? What does that mean? And then I realized, oh shoot, I'm supposed to leave by 7. So yeah, that's where my mind is this morning. It's really, I don't know, I left it somewhere. 12 electrons, okay. Here we've got 3 single bonds minimum, right? Those are each 2 electrons. So we'll count those. 2, 4, 6. And now I've got some more electrons. I'll try putting 2 there, so that makes 8 electrons, 10, and 12. I've used up all the electrons. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Can't put any more dots. Hydrogen is very easy to please, a single bond, he's good to go. We don't have to worry about him. Carbon, does this carbon have an octet? Yeah. Does the oxygen have an octet? No, it doesn't. That means we need to make a double or a triple bond. So I'm going to move lone pairs. If I move a lone pair from the oxygen, oxygen is the one who's short electrons. Carbon has an octet. So it usually works out best if you take the electrons from the one that has an octet. So I'm going to take this pair of electrons and make it into a bond. So remove those and make that a double bond. And then we count again. Here we see carbon has 4 lines coming from it. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. It still has an octet. And now the oxygen has 2, 4, 6, 8, and it has an octet. Yeah?
So you know how before you said that we have to have at least 1 electron on each side before we pair them up?
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply here? Or?
Not really. So when we were drawing these, I said that you should draw a single electron on each of the 4 sides and then start pairing them up. That's not going to apply when you're doing a molecule. With very few exceptions, all of the electrons in a molecule will be paired. They'll either be bonding pairs or lone pairs. You have a question?
Does it matter where we start, where the lone pairs are at? Because I started watching it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. You could have 3 people draw this structure and they'll all come at it and draw it slightly different. And over here with your oxygen, you might have this lone pair on the bottom. That's okay. Or this lone pair might be on the bottom. It doesn't matter exactly where you put those lone pairs, but we typically put them top, bottom, right, and left. Yeah?
If the carbon monoxide had a triple bond between carbon and oxygen, how come this one doesn't?
That's a good question. So why does this one have a triple bond and this one doesn't? Because carbon and oxygen don't always do the same thing with each other. The reason that they're forming a triple bond here is that that's the only way they can get an octet. Down here, they only need a double bond to get an octet. If we took this pair of electrons and made a triple bond, the oxygen would be fine. Let's actually just do that. The oxygen still has 8, but now how many does the carbon have? It has 10. And carbon can't have 10 electrons. So the thing about Lewis theory is that it helps us to predict, it helps us to understand, okay, this is a stable molecule, that's not. It helps us figure out where the double, triple bonds are. It doesn't really explain why, other than to get 8 electrons. And so it's more of a, just put them together, follow this pattern. It's kind of like paint by number. You paint this square and that square blue, and this one and that one red, and then you end up with a picture of a horse or something, right? So in this, how many bonds does carbon have? 4. How many bonds does carbon like to have? 4. How many bonds does the oxygen have? And how many bonds does oxygen like to have? 2. So many times, not always, many times, these main group elements will have the predicted number of bonds. Now in carbon monoxide, it's not true, right? The carbon has 3 bonds and the oxygen has 3 bonds. Neither of them really wants to have 3 bonds, but that's the best they can do. Let's do another one. Let's do a polyatomic ion. Anybody remember the name of this one? CLO minus? Hypochlorite ion. Okay, so this is a simple one. Just 2 elements. So the skeleton, I'm going to put the chlorine and the oxygen, and they must be connected by a single bond, at least. And then I have to figure out how many valence electrons. Well, how many valence electrons does chlorine have? 7. And how many does oxygen have? 6. And what does that -1 charge tell me? So we see the -1 and we want to subtract, right? But we have to add an electron because we're adding a negative charge. So 7 plus 6 plus 1, I'm pretty sure that's 14. It's okay to use your calculator. We just want to get the correct result. I don't care how you get it exactly. So 14. So there's 2 here. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I used up all 14, and both of the atoms have octets. This one doesn't need a multiple bond. There's one thing missing. This is an ion. There is also a molecule, chlorine monoxide, which does not have a charge on it. And so we need to show the charge. And so we do that by putting brackets around the Lewis structure and writing the charge on the outside. Now, mastering chemistry has you draw Lewis structures. Mastering chemistry doesn't do brackets. Their little drawing program doesn't do brackets. So don't text me and say, how do I put brackets in mastering chemistry? Because you don't. They just can't do it. It seems a little lame to me, but whatever. So on mastering chemistry, you just have to stick the negative sign in there. Any questions?